for this video, we are going to talk about the graph of different forms of quadratic functions. Specifically, these four forms of quadratic functions. No? So, the first one is f of x is equal to ax squared. The second one is f of x is equal to ax squared plus k. And then the third one is the vertex form of quadratic functions. And then the fourth one is the standard form of quadratic functions. But first, let's sketch the graph of this form of quadratic function. So let's say we have the given y is equal to 2x squared. Don't be confused with the f of x or y, they are just the same. No? Equivalent ni f of x si y. So, huwag kayong magtataka kung yung form, yung nasa form in this one, f of x yung nakalagay, and then yung nasa given ay y. So, huwag kayong magtataka kung magkaiba yun kasi they are just the same. No? So, first that you need to do is to write the characteristics of this form of quadratic function. So, yung mga characteristics na discuss natin last lesson, which is in lesson 12, susulat niyo yung values ng vertex, ng axis of symmetry, ng domain, ng range, ng direction ng parabola. So, yun yung may mga characteristics tayo na diniscuss doon. But then, here, you're just going to write the value itself. Yung value na ng vertex, okay? Yung value na ng axis of symmetry, ng domain, ng range, and yung direction ng parabola. So, in this type of quadratic function, yung vertex nito is always at the origin. Okay? Which is, when we write that into ordered pair, we will get 0, 0. Okay? Laging at the origin yung vertex ng ganitong form ng quadratic function. And then, the axis of symmetry, the value of the axis of symmetry is identical to the value of the h in your vertex. Yung vertex nyo, we have h and k dyan. So, kung ano yung value ni h, yun yung value ng axis of symmetry mo. And axis of symmetry is represented by the variable x. So, we have x is equal to the value of your h, which is, in this example, 0. Okay, so yung axis of symmetry mo, x is equal to 0. Yung domain, the domain must be written in set builder notation. Hindi nagbabago yung domain, ano? X is the set of all real numbers. And then, the range. So, yung range, merong condition sa range, no? In this example, ang range natin is y is the set of all real numbers such that y is greater than or equal to 0. So, yung value ng range mo, that will be based on the sign or the value of the coefficient in the quadratic term. So, I'm not going to expand my explanation. I already discussed that last lesson. Okay? And then I will just move this para magkasya. Okay, erase ko na lang to kasi we will write the direction of parabola here para makompleto yung characteristics ng function. So, and then lastly, so you need to write the direction or what is the direction of the parabola. So, it's either upwards or downwards. The direction of the parabola is also based on the sign of the coefficient in the quadratic terms, no? So, in this case, positive siya, therefore, the parabola will open upwards. So, yan, may mga value na. And then, right after nyo masulat yung mga value na yan, which is I am going to look for below the graph. You're going to list these values below the graph. Okay, these values, the values of these terms. Now, alam niyo naman kunin to, for you to be able to graph this quadratic function, what you need to remember is the value of your vertex. Okay? So, yung mga sinulat natin kanina, susulat mo yun below the graph. Okay? Huwag kakalimutan. Kasi, hindi ko siya masusulat sa ilalim ng graph dito kasi nagmo-move yung lines dito kapag nagsulat ako. So, pinakita ko na lang kung paano kunin and then you need to write that below the graph that we are going to sketch later on. So, in sketching the graph of quadratic functions, ang mahalaga yung vertex. Why? Kasi dyan natin ibe-base yung other points na ipa-plot natin to graph this quadratic function. So, using the vertex, create a table. Or kahit hindi na table, kasi paling-paling lang yung maisusulat ko. No? So, lalagyan ko na lang sila ng line para indication na may separation. So, create a table na mayroong 5 spaces. Okay? So, ayan. So, yung value ng vertex mo, this is in ordered pair, di ba? Sa ordered pair, we have the x coordinate and the y coordinate. Yung value ng x and y coordinate mo sa vertex mo, pakilagay dun sa gitna. So, it should be 5 para dun sa pangatlo, ilalagay mo yung value ng x and y coordinate mo sa vertex mo. So, in this case, ang value ng x coordinate ay 0. Ang value ng y coordinate mo is also 0. And then, you are going to assign values to the other x coordinates. Paano po yan? Napakadami pong numbers na pwede nating gamitin. How do we assign values to the other x coordinates? So, ganito na lang gawin nyo para hindi kayo mahirapan. So, ang nasa gitna is 0, di ba? Yung numbers na before and after 0, yun na lang ilagay nyo. So, 0, before 0, we have -1. Before -1, we have -2. Okay? And then, yung mga numbers after ng 0, that is 1 and 2. So, I'm going to limit these values into 5 lang. 5, no? Kasi sa ibang example ko sa module nyo, naglagay ako ng 7. No, kung gusto nyong mahirapan, pwede naman na 7. Pero, yan, kung gusto nyo 5, 5 lang din. So, I'm just check ko naman yun lahat. So, kung ano lang gusto nyo. Pero para malimit kayo sa trabaho nyo kasi it will look all the same eh. No? Either 5 or 7 na ordered pair yung kukunin nyo, it will still look the same, yung graph. Okay, so maglilimit tayo sa 5 na ordered pairs lang. Okay, ngayon nag-assign na tayo ng other x coordinates. How do we solve for the value of the y coordinate? So, dyan na papasok itong given natin. Okay? Para ma-solve natin yung values ng y coordinates, isa-substitute natin yung inassign natin na values ng x coordinate doon sa ating given. Okay? So, hindi kasha. So, let's say, the given is this, di ba? 2x squared. Y is equal to 2x squared. Sa x, isa-substitute natin yung x coordinate na inassign natin. So, we have 2. Substitute natin sa x yung x coordinate na inassign natin. We have -2 squared. And then we have 2, -2 squared. That is equal to 4. And then 2 times 4, that is equal to 8. And that will be the value of your y coordinate. 8 ang value ng una. Okay? So, I'm not sure kung nasundan nyo, pero ganun lang siya. Substitution and then simplifying. So, next, 2, and then substitute nyo yung x-coordinate dito doon sa x sa given. So, -1 squared, and then simplify. 2, -1 squared, that is 1. 2 times 1, that is equal to 2. So, yun yung value ng y-coordinate mo dito. 2. And then, dito, di mo na siya kailangan i-solve. Dito, substitute lang ulit natin doon. 2, quantity, substitute natin yung 1 dun sa x. 1 squared. So, 2 times 1 squared, that is 1. 2 times 1, that is equal to 2 also. And then the last given or the last x coordinate, substitute natin dun sa given. We have 2 squared, we have 2. 2 squared is 4. So 2 times 4, that is equal to 8 also. So ayan, okay na yung values ng x coordinate and y coordinate natin. If we will be writing this table into ordered pairs, kukunin nyo lang yung value niya and then isulat nyo siya into like this, ordered pair. Okay, so sulat natin. Na ordered pairs. So, kanina we have yung una natin, -2 and then 8. Kung sino yung magkakatapat, yun yung isusulat nyo na ordered pair. So, we have -1 and 2. We have 0, 0, which is your vertex. And then we have 1, 2, and then 2 and 8. So, yeah. So, using this ordered pair, sila yung gagamitin mo to graph the function. So, for you to graph the function, ayan, gagamitin mo yung mga ordered pair, pa-plot mo muna sila, and then, pagdudugtong-dugtongin mo sila, or pagko-connect-connectin mo sila. So, like this. So, the first one, the first ordered pair that we will plot is -2 and 8. So, dito siya. Okay? And then the second one is -1 and 2. So, dito. The vertex is 0, 0. So, nasa origin siya dapat. And then, the next ordered pair is 1, 2. So, dito siya. And then, the last one is 2, 8. So, dito siya. Ayan. Right after nyo i-plot lahat ng ordered pairs, you're going to connect all of them. So, the graph, according sa direction ng parabola, will open upwards. Dapat. Okay? Right after nyo i-connect. So, nagmumove yung lines. So, yan. That will be the, no. Doesn't look nice. So, I'm just going to repeat everything. So yan, this is the illustration of the graph of our first function. So kailangan yung end niya laging pa-arrow kasi it means that the graph or the opening of the graph is continuous, dire-diretso. Sa module niya, hindi ko na nalagyan, hindi ako nakapag-insert, no, ng ganyan. So, yan yung graph ng function natin. So, this is the graph of y is equal to 2x So that is the graph of 2x squared, and then yung mga values na sinulat natin kanina, you're going to write that below the graph. Okay, so yung value ng vertex, ng axis of symmetry, you're going to write that below the graph. Axis of symmetry, domain, range, and then the direction of the parabola. In this given, wala tayong x and y intercepts, no? Si x-intercept, these are the ordered pairs that crosses the x-axis. Okay? Sila yung mga ordered pair na nagko-cross sa x-axis. Kapag naman sinabi nating y-intercepts, these are the ordered pairs that crosses the y-axis. So in this example, wala namang ordered pair na nag-cross ng x and y-axis. So we do not have an x and y intercept. No, in this case, nasa origin tayo yung vertex. So yeah, that is the graph of the first form of quadratic function. How about the second form of quadratic function, which is in this form? So the second form is f of x is equal to ax squared plus k. So we added another variable. So let's say, for example, we will graph this function. Negative x squared plus k. Again, list down all the values of the vertex, axis of symmetry. So axis of symmetry, the domain, the range, and then the direction of parabola below the graph. Pero dito sa atin, dito ko na lang sinusulat kasi mahirap magsulat dun sa Cartesian plane. So ang vertex nitong example natin is at 0, 3. No? Yung h natin in this form of quadratic function is always 0. The k is depende sa given. So, I'm so sorry, k yung pala yung nalagay ko dito. It should be 3. No? So, yung h natin in this form of quadratic function is always 0, and then the value of our k is depending on our given. So, in this case, the k is positive 3, so the vertex is at 0, 3. And then the axis of symmetry is x is equal to 0, depends on the value of the h. Okay? And then the domain, hindi siya nagbabago, no? In set builder notation, x is the set of all real numbers. Ang range natin is depende sa value ng coefficient sa quadratic term. In this case, ang coefficient ng quadratic term is negative. Okay? So, it is less than 0. Therefore, the range is y is the set of all real numbers such that y is less than or equal to k. In this given, our k is 3, therefore lagay nyo less than or equal to 3. The direction of the parabola is also according to the sign of the coefficient in the quadratic term. So negative, therefore it will open downwards. So yan, yung mga value sa characteristics nitong quadratic function na given. So now, pakisulat na lang to sa baba ng graph. But then, the only thing na importante is we know how to get the vertex. No? So yung vertex natin, using the vertex, we will assign, erase ko na. We will assign values of x-coordinate and y-coordinate. So again, 5 lang. Or if you want more, then go. Pero as much as possible para malimit tayo, 5 ordered pairs lang yung ipapahanap ko. Or yung ipapaplot ko sa inyo. So here, yung vertex, pakisulat siya sa gitna. So si x-coordinate sa vertex is 0, si y-coordinate is 3. Okay? And then, just like what I told you a while ago, para hindi na kayo mahirapan mag-assign dun sa other x-coordinate, yung mga numbers na lang nakatabi nung x-coordinate sa vertex nyo yung kunin ninyo. So in this case, 0, we have 1 and 2 here, and then we have negative 1 and negative 2 here. So for you to solve the value of the other y coordinates, so gagamitin nyo yung x coordinates na inassign ninyo. And using this given, no, isa-substitute nyo siya doon. So we have negative, and then negative 2 squared plus 3. And then negative 2 squared, that is equal to 4 plus 3. Negative 4 plus 3, that is equal to negative 1. So, yun yung value ng unang y coordinate ninyo, negative 1. And then, repeat the process. No? The second one is negative, and then negative 1 squared plus 3. So, substitute nyo lang yung x-coordinate nyo sa x dito sa given. So, we have negative 1 squared, that is 1, plus 3. Negative 1 plus 3, that is equal to 2. So, yun yung value ng pangalawang y-coordinate ninyo, 2. And then, repeating the process again and again, you will get 2 here as your y-coordinate right after mo i-substitute. And then, you will get negative 1 here. So, kung napapansin nyo, parang umuulit lang yung values. Yes. No? So, right after nyo ma-solve yung mga y-coordinates on the left side of your vertex, uulit lang siya yung mga values na yon on the right side of your vertex. Ito yung vertex ninyo, di ba? Kasi nga, meron tayong axis of symmetry, di ba? Pag axis of symmetry, that is just like a reflection, no, ng graph. So, kaya kailangan yung mga y-coordinate nila, on the left and right side ng vertex, magkakamukha lang. Kasi there is an axis of symmetry. No, kapag naiba, there is something wrong with what you are doing. So, if you're going to write this table in ordered pairs, pagsamasamahin nyo lang yung mga magkakatapat. And then, these ordered pairs, or what we are going to use to plot our or write or sketch our graph. So the first one is -2 and -1. And then -1 and 2. And then the vertex is at 0, 3, and then 1 and 2, and then 2 and -1. So these are the ordered pairs that we need to plot. Okay? So right after getting that, you may now start plotting those ordered pairs in the Cartesian plane. So the first ordered pair is -2 and -1. So here they are. And then the second one is -1 and 2. So dito. Then the vertex 0, 3, dito siya. And then we have 1 and 2. And then the last one we have 2 and -1. So, ayan. And then, according sa characteristics na sinulat natin kanina, the graph will open downwards kasi yung sign ng leading coefficient tuloy, ng coefficient ng quadratic term is negative. So, it will open downwards. So, you need to sketch the graph and it should open downwards. Kasi pag hindi downwards, there is something wrong. So, pag-connectin lang natin yung mga points. So, yeah, this is now the graph. So, don't mind yung mga lines na hindi sakto doon sa points, okay? It should be sakto kapag nag-sketch kayo ng graph. In this case kasi nagmo-move kapag nagdo-drawing tayo. Okay, so kailangan sakto lang siya. Okay, nagmo-move siya pag nagdo-drawing. Nawala. Sketch ulit natin. Yan. Say that is the graph of our function, the given function. So, this is the graph of y is equal to -x squared plus 3. This is now the graph of the given quadratic function, which is y is equal to -x squared plus 3. Now, observing the graph, we can see na yung vertex natin, which at 0, 3, crosses the y-axis. Therefore, we can consider that our vertex is also our y-intercept. Okay, so 0, 3 because it crosses the y-axis. So a while ago, I'm not quite sure if the origin can be considered as y-intercept or x-intercept. Kasi ano nasa origin siya. If I'm not mistaken, alam ko iba yun. No? Kasi nasa intersection siya ng x-axis and y-axis. So, I'm not quite sure if we can consider it as an x and y intercept, pero sa pagkakaalam ko hindi. Okay? Kaya yung example number 1, wala tayong x and y intercept doon. So in this example, in our second example, we can say that our vertex can be considered also as our y intercept. So that is how you graph the second form of quadratic function. Next is the third form, which is quadratic function in its vertex form. So that is f of x is equal to a times quantity x minus h squared plus k. This is the form of quadratic function which is in vertex form. So let's try to sketch the graph of our third example. Let's say we have y is equal to quantity x plus 2 squared minus 3. So again, we need to list down the values of our vertex, the axis of symmetry, the domain, the range, and the direction of parabola. It should be written below the graph in your exams. Okay? Pero dito ko siya sinusulat. So in this form of quadratic function, the vertex is according to the values of h and k. But then, meron condition dun sa h. It should be the reverse sign of h. So in this case, yung h natin, as you can see, is positive 2. So we will write negative 2. And then, yung value ng k natin, we will follow the sign of the given. So, we have negative 3. So, ang vertex natin is at negative 2, negative 3. Okay? And then, the axis of symmetry is equivalent to the value of the h, which is negative 2. So, x is equal to negative 2. The domain is the set of all real numbers, or x is the set of all real numbers. Ang range natin is meron tayong condition, no? According sa sign ng coefficient sa quadratic term. So, in this case, yung value ng a natin is 1, which is positive. So, a is greater than 0. Therefore, the range is y is the set of all real numbers such that y is greater than or equal to k. Yung k natin is negative 3. So, greater than or equal to k. Greater than or equal to negative 3. And then, raise lang natin. Raise lang natin to. And then the direction of our parabola is according to the sign of the coefficient in the quadratic term or the A, okay? Yung letter A yung sign niya. Therefore, positive siya na 1, positive 1. Therefore, the parabola will open upwards. So, yan yung mga characteristics na you need to write below the graph. Okay? And then, for us to be able to graph this, we need to remember the value of our vertex. So, in this given, our vertex is negative 2 and 3. Okay? So, using the vertex, let's derive for ordered pairs. So, write kayo ng table and then 5 na columns. Yan. So, yung vertex natin, i-write natin dun sa pinakagitna or sa pangatlong column. So, we have -2 as our x-coordinate and -3 as our y-coordinate. And then, yung mga x-coordinate na walang values, here, mag-assign po tayo ng values. So, lagay natin yung mga numbers before and after -2. So, -2, before ng -2, we have -3, we have -4. And then, after -2, we have -1, and then 0. And then, for us to be able to find the value of the other y-coordinates, what we need to do is we need to substitute the x-coordinate na inassign natin dito sa ating given. So, we have yung una, y. Ang isa-substitute natin sa x is -4. So, -4 plus 2 squared minus 3. So, papakita ko kung paano nakuha kasi medyo mahaba yung form ng quadratic function na to. So, we have -4 plus 2, that is -2 squared minus 3. Simplify, -2 squared, that is equal to 4 minus 3, y is equal to 1. Okay? Kaya makukuha mo dito sa y-coordinate is 1. And then, the second one naman, yung pangalawa, -3 naman yung x. So, we have y is equal to -3 plus 2 squared minus 3. So, we have y is equal to -3 plus 2, that is -1 squared minus 3. Y is equal to -1 squared, that is equal to 1 minus 3. Y is equal to -2. So, that is equal to -2. And then, the third one is yung x natin is -1. So, we have -1 plus 2 squared minus 3. Repeat the process. So, -1 plus 2, that is 1 squared minus 3. Y is equal to 1 minus 3. Y is equal to -2. So, it will just be the same. Okay? So, let's see if yung y-coordinate na kasama ni 0 is also equal to 1. So, y is equal to, assuming that x is equal to 0, 0 plus 2 squared minus 3. Y is equal to 2 squared minus 3. So, y is equal to 4 minus 3. Y is equal to 1. So, yan. So, as I was saying a while ago, yung mga y-coordinates, yung mga values ng y-coordinates before the vertex will mirror the values of the y-coordinates after the vertex. So, meron na tayong table and isulat na natin sila as ordered pair. So, kung sino yung magkakatapat, sila yung isusulat mo. So, the ordered pairs, the first one is -4 and 1. The second one is -3 and -2. And the third one is -2 and -3, the vertex. Fourth one, -1, -2. And then last is 0, and then we have 1. So, these are the ordered pairs that we are going to use to graph the given function. So let's graph. So these are the ordered pairs that we need to plot and then connect the points afterwards. So the first one is -4 and 1. Tama ba? Yes, -4 and 1. So that is the plot of that ordered pair. And then the next one is -3 and -2. Then the vertex, -2 and -3. The next -1, -2. And then lastly is 0, 1. So yeah, and then right after natin ma-plot yung points, we need to connect the points and observe kung tama ba yung graph. So, yung direction ng parabola na sinulat natin kanina is upwards kasi yung value ng a natin in this given is positive. So, the graph should open upwards. So, in this case, if we connect this points, upwards ba? Yes. So, upwards will open upwards. So this is the graph of y is equal to quantity x plus 2 squared minus 3. So don't mind yung line kung hindi siya umabot dun sa points, no? Kasi nagmo-move kapag nagsusulat ako. But then when you graph it, you should make sure that the curve or the parabola will go to the points. Okay? Tatamaan niya dapat yung mga points. Dito kasi medyo hindi tumama or hindi siya dumaan. Okay? So, yeah, this is the graph of y is equal to quantity x plus 2 squared minus 3. And do we have intercepts here? So yes, meron tayong isang y-intercept. Wala tayong x-intercept kasi wala namang point na dumaan doon sa sa x-axis, sorry. Wala tayong x-intercepts kasi wala namang points na dumaan sa x-axis. But then meron tayong point na dumaan doon sa y-axis, which is this one. No, 0, 1. So, yun yung ating y-intercept. So 0, 1. We do not have x-intercept. So that is how you graph quadratic functions in vertex form. And then lastly, how about if the given quadratic function is in standard form, which is in this form, no? So f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Let's say we have this fourth example. So let's say we will graph y is equal to negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. So again, first of all, we need to list the values, these values that we will look for. So, the vertex of this, merong formula para kunin yung vertex ng mga quadratic equation in standard form, no? So, you're going to use the formula sa pagkuha ng h negative b over 2a sa pagkuha ng k for ac minus b squared all over 4a. So this is the formulas for you to be able to find the vertex. But then, I already discussed that part. So kapag kinompute nyo, sinubstitute nyo, sinolve nyo, yung values ng a, b, and c in the formula, the vertex that you're going to come up is 1 and 4. So, hindi ko na ipapakita. No? And then, yung axis of symmetry natin, that is equal to the value of h, which is 1. So, x is equal to 1. The domain is constant. So, x is the set of all real numbers. Range is according sa, again, sign ng coefficient ng quadratic term. So, in this case, we have negative. So, a is less than 0. So, therefore, the range is y is the set of all real numbers such that y is less than or equal to the value of your h, which is 1. No? And then, the direction of the parabola is downwards kasi negative yung sign ng coefficient sa quadratic term. So these are the values that you need to get, no? And you need to write that below the graph. But then, of course, for you to graph, ang mahalaga lang naman is yung vertex. So let's erase this and let's create a table of x and y. So again, you need to write 5 columns, no? And then, let's place the vertex in the middle. So, 1 and then 4. And then, mag-assign tayo ng x-coordinates. So, mga numbers before and after ng 1 para hindi na tayo mahirapan. So, we have 2 and 3 here. We have 0 and negative 1 here. So, for you to be able to solve the y-coordinates of each x-coordinates that you assign, substitute natin yung given natin dito sa ating given na x-coordinate natin. No, it's not given pala. Yung inassign natin na x-coordinate, i-substitute natin doon sa given function. So, y is equal to, so negative 1, let's say yung x. So, we have negative, the negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 plus 3. And then y is equal to negative 1 squared is 1. Positive 2 times negative 1, that is equal to negative 2 plus 3. So, negative times 1, negative 1 minus 2 plus 3. And then, solve natin. Negative 1 minus 2, that is equal to negative 3 plus 3, that is equal to 0. So, the first y-intercept is equal to 0. Okay? And then, the second y-intercept, substitute natin naman yung pangalawang x. Am I saying y-intercept, y-coordinate? I'm so sorry. So, the second x-coordinate is 0. So, substitute natin si 0 to all the x's in the given function. So, we have negative 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus 3. So, This is negative 0, or this can be cancelled already. Wala namang negative 0, di ba? And 2 times 0, this is also 0. So 0 plus 3, ang natira lang ay si 3. So therefore, the y coordinate of this example is 3. And then, this is your vertex, diba? So, the y-coordinates before the vertex will mirror the y-coordinates after the vertex. So, dito, we have also 3. If we substituted it, you will get 3. And dito, you will get 0 also. Yeah. So, these are the ordered pairs that you need to plot. Okay, so let's write them as ordered pairs. So the first one, yung magkakatapat, negative 1, 0, and then 0, 3. Then the vertex, 1, 4. Next is 2, 3, and then the last one is 3 and 0. So this is the ordered pairs that you need to plot to sketch the graph of this quadratic function. So let's sketch the graph. So the first one is negative 1 and 0. Negative 1 and 0. Then the second one is 0, 3. Third one is the vertex, which is 1 and 4. Next is 2 and 3. And then lastly is 3, 0. Ayan. And then, balikan natin yung characteristics. The direction of the parabola in this given, yung A mo is negative, therefore the parabola should open downwards. So let's connect and let's see if it will open downwards. So this is the sketch of the graph. The graph of the given quadratic function in standard form. So negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. So that is the graph of y is equal to negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. And then, observing the graph, we can see that there are x and y intercept. Okay? So we will write the x-intercepts. So we have two x-intercepts and we have one y-intercept. So yung x-intercepts natin, these are the points that crosses the x-axis. So ito sila, si -1 and 0, and then si 3 and 0. They cross the x-axis, therefore they can be considered as the x-intercepts of the graph. So -1, 0, and 3, 0. And then the y-intercept, as you can see, this is the point that crosses the y-axis. So therefore, that is the y-intercept. That is 0 and 3. So that's it. That is how you graph different forms of quadratic function.